I wish more professional women would embrace, and that's being a creative. A creative person is multifaceted, right? You can be smart in science and be a creative person, be an artist. I know a doctor who does tile work, like tile designs, because that's her passion. So we're not just one thing.
Welcome to Wednesday Wellness Debrief, your journey to wellness and maternal health. I'm your host, Brittany, and today we have a truly inspiring guest who embodies the very essence of wellness and powerful living. Arnice Foster is a wife, mother, and neuroencoding specialist, licensed nutrition and fitness coach, attorney, and million-dollar business strategist. After losing 25 pounds at the age of 46, she became an international fitness trainer, inspiring thousands through Zumba. She's built teams, trained over 50 employees, raised 3 children, and mentored countless women towards health, fitness, and wellness. Today, we will share the strategies that she used in her first published book, The Foster Fit Method. Please welcome Coach Arnice Foster.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, Brittany. As a health and wellness person yourself and a fitness instructor, there's nothing we'd rather do rather than teaching it rather than talk about fitness and health and wellness. So
Exactly.
yeah,
No,
it's a passion.
as soon as you were recommended by someone from the feminist podcast group, and as soon as she saw my business, she's like, I have the perfect person that you can
Yes.
interview on your podcast. And as soon as she mentioned, I pulled you up, I was like, yes, she's perfect. And she does Zumba. Oh, yes. The Zumba fit, the pants, I call it the Zumba uniform.
It is the outfit. This is actually not Zumba wear. It's
Oh, it's
another
not?
brand, but they don't sponsor me, so I don't. But it's
I got you.
but it's
Well,
that same energy, right?
yeah.
That Zumba has. Yeah.
1000%. So, Arnice, I read your amazing bio, and your incredible journey is very multifaceted, and I love that. How do you integrate your professional life as an attorney with your passion for fitness and business coaching? 'Cause that's a
Uh,
lot.
that is a lot, and I'll tell you, when I launched. When I founded the Foster firm 20 years ago, actually this year, in February, it was 20 years ago. Um, Within the coaching industry was kind of new, just coaching in general, life coaching. You started kind of hearing about that, and you're like, "What's this?" And I had become interested in life coaching at that time, around 2007, but I needed to launch that business first. First things first. I needed to launch that practice and get that up and running before I could turn back and start doing coaching. I um, I ended up, I had kids. I already had kids when I launched the practice, when I founded the firm, and so I did some raising kids. And during that time is when I started taking fitness classes. We opened another business, and after we sold our interest in that business, a lot can happen in a short amount of time. When you look back, you go, we were doing a lot. But I looked at myself, honestly, Brittany, and my father had passed from complications with diabetes, and he was brilliant. He was a talented dentist, and and his mind was sharp all the way through. And that was really tough because I was like, this is a brilliant man who should have 20 more years. He was about 80, 79.
Mm.
You could have 20 more years in with this with healthcare the way it is now, and the strides we made. But because of stress and smoking, he was a cigarette smoker since he was age 12. How he lived as long as he did is beyond me. Strong, he was strong. That's how. poor eating the typical, not just the standard American diet, which is sad, right? But also soul food and sausage and enjoying just the riches of life
Those
as
high
we used to eat.
process, so like those high process, like the things that you go that you know you're gonna. It's good to eat on occasion, but not to
It's
eat every single
tasty,
day.
but it's not good for your body. So that resulted in consequences. And in my opinion, 79 was too young for him. And so when after he passed, I began looking at myself as a mother and a wife and a professional, and moving on in the years, moving into my 40s. And I just decided I did not want to be, I just didn't want to be fat, sick, and old, right? I wanted to be better and younger and fitter. And so I started working out at the gym. This is a long way to get around to it, but I started working out. I made a decision. I went into the gym. I said, I'm going to lose, a certain amount of pounds. I said, actually, I want to lose enough weight that fit people look at me and see me as a fit person like they
Mm.
are. And started Zumba. And so I became an instructor. And then that was an accident. I didn't go there with that plan. Did you plan to become an instructor?
No, honestly, I did a completely different program, and I've been a dancer my entire life,
I saw that.
and so literally, I was teaching other classes, and they're like, "Hey, there's a Zumba training that's free that the gym." Cause I was working for the gym, they're like, "It's free, we'll pay for it." I was like, "Sure, why not?" And it it was an investment I didn't realize how integral it was into my fitness journey.
It
Honestly,
it is. It really the passion of it. So with that, so I had that. So now I've got the law firm that my husband's a partner in, so he could carry that weight while I raise children. And then now I'm a fitness instructor, and so I'm a lawyer, as we said, and so we tend to want to get everything. I want all the certifications, right? Put it on the wall. So I certified in everything, and as an instructor, you're helping women, you're coaching
yeah,
them. You're
exactly.
you're a group fitness trainer, you're an instructor, but you're coaching. They're going to come to you with their things. And then I was running a business, so I know business coaching because I had business coaches that taught me the things that you're just in doing it, but nobody says, hey, you're actually doing this, and here's the correct way to look at that, and here's the correct way to do it. And so with my coaches, I learned systems, and then I got the Hello 7 training, which resulted in me becoming, and that's an intensive training. It was a year-long training created by also a lawyer, and so it was intense, and it was thorough, and it was a lot of fun. So
Mm.
the question was, how did I put it all together? And the answer is, as a woman and as a mom, you know how it is. We just do it.
Mm.
And so I just followed my passion and I just did the things.
Mm.
I had a son when I was in law school.
Oof.
And people say, how did you do that with a 4-year old? He was 4, 5, and 6. And I was like, I don't know. I just did the thing.
It's that determination. It's kind of
Mhm.
like I can't let the bottom drop out underneath me. I don't have a choice
I
for
don't
the
have a
bottom to
choice.
drop out at this point in time,
Exactly. Exactly.
basically. But from your wide range experience, and I love how you detailed how being group fitness ties into your business and everything. What is one piece of advice you can give someone who feels like their passions are too different to be combined?
So, one thing, a word that is very popular now is a word that I wish more professional women would embrace, and that's being a creative. A
Mm.
creative person is multifaceted, right? You can be smart. You can be smart in science and be a creative person, be an artist. I know a doctor who does tile work, like tile designs, because that's her passion. So we're not just one thing. So I would say give yourself grace. You don't have to just be an accountant or just be a child care center owner or just be a lawyer. You can be smart, talented, strong, and still enjoy artistic or physical or something that seems completely different from the other because you're a multifaceted person. You're not one thing. We've been led to believe that you're a lawyer
Yep.
and then that's all you do. That's not all you do. That's not all we are. And to share our talents with the world is what we're put here to do. Also, sometimes you have seasons.
Yep.
So a lot of people have multiple careers, and that we're seeing more of. It's different from when your parents were coming up, where they did one thing. But now you're not going to work for IBM for 40 years. That's just not going to happen. Does IBM even still exist? I don't know. But you're not you're not going to work for Google, say, for 40 years. Your career is going to change and shift.
Mm. And
And you just have to
do you feel as though that you in as you transition in your career, you've seen that experience where the person was so gung ho in being a lawyer, and you see it's impacted them, maybe not in the most positive way, but how they see themselves and how they see others around them and treat others around them.
absolutely. And I'll tell you what I see is it's funny because even in let's take Zumba for an example. Zumba is fitness, but it's also a creative outlet.
Yes.
And so when we're pursuing our careers, we as women, I'll speak as from a woman's perspective, we're focused. Like I can't dance into the boardroom, at 30, right? I can't wear African clothes and have my hair wrapped, or maybe have locks or braids, right? When I'm trying to rise the
The
law
corporate ladder.
law firm
Yeah.
ladder, right, or the corporate ladder. And so we're pushing, we're suppressing, right, all of this. And since Zumba is Latin and a lot of African Americans are drawn to it, it is our culture, and a lot of East and Asian women are drawn to it as well. We come from colorful cultures. The Indian culture, very colorful. The
Hmm.
Latin cultures are very colorful, and African Americans were very colorful. And so maybe it's because we tend to come from warm climates, our music, I don't know, but we're more colorful people. And so we're suppressing that. We're wearing the blue suit, the black suit, the white, we've got the black glasses on. And these were all I had today, but usually I have colorful glasses on. And we're fitting into the box.
Yep.
So as lawyers, I found in Zumba, a lot of lawyers would come and I trained, I mentored a number of lawyers to become fitness instructors, even though they might still be practicing law. One is sitting on the bench now, but she still works out. She was running already, but doctors were a little more hesitant because they're doctors.
Yep.
That box is a little harder to break out of.
Oh yeah.
That MD carries a lot of responsibility with it.
Right.
Everybody
Title comes
knows
with
my daughter's a
responsibility.
doctor. Um, and so what I would say is that you just have to allow yourself small outlets. So you might not become an instructor, but you can go to the class and have a good time. And then you can find out what does it take to become an instructor. And then maybe you can volunteer and teach at your kid's school. I saw you had a picture with kids. Do you
Yes.
do kids
I do
fitness?
I do kids Zumba, yes.
It's so much fun. They're so free. The
Hmm.
school is going to be thrilled to have you volunteer and do it, even if it's just on field day. Once a year, you do a Zumba class with the kids. That's a fantastic outlet so that you can then focus back on whatever it is that is your main thing. Your first thing is your first thing.
Hmm.
Do that, but you're entitled to have outlets. Enjoy.
Mm. And I think that's, as we get older, I think we're taught like you're supposed to be so serious and just very dedicated. As time has gone on, we're in a time of transition where I'm like, no, I'm going to keep my outlet. My outlet's what's keeping me sane. I need to I need to keep this one little piece of myself to keep myself together.
Exactly.
So you are not wrong about that. And especially being transitioning in like corporate lawyer spaces. And you and I talked, we both went to HBCUs. So the vibe is very different comparatively when we were in college to then when we go into the quote unquote real world of just
Right.
like that transition of like,
And
okay.
they're teaching you to fit into the corporate world.
Yep.
That's the job of the university. Teach you how to think, but also and problem solve and reason, but also how to go out there and be successful in this
And
society.
yeah, basically. I mean, I'm very appreciative of the duality that it educated me in, but sometimes when you get into it and you live it, it's just very hard on the mind and the body.
It is.
The hustle culture often glorifies burnout and exhaustion. As $1 million business strategist, how do you redefine success in a way that prioritizes well-being without sacrificing ambition?
It's funny because I'm older than you are. And so I come from that, hustle, hunker down, stop complaining, don't whine. And what I've really loved watching in my younger sisters is the way you guys embrace setting boundaries and really speaking up for yourselves, for owning your blackness, for showing up unapologetically African American. You're not trying to necessarily fit into, you're like, you know what, I'm wearing afro. And it's like, okay, sister, wear an afro. Um, I'm going to wear, I see you wore that in your graduation, the
Yes.
African, right.
Hmm.
Okay. So when I was coming up, we did not do that. And we just didn't. I think when I graduated from law school, I do think the Black Law Student Association, I do think we did wear, because I was at a PWI. And so, um, that's what it is. Owning who you are, knowing your boundaries, enforcing the boundaries, and carving out time for yourself. Now, carving out time for yourself could look different ways. If you're a mother and you've got work and you've got maybe a husband and you've got laundry to do and you've got childcare, school, PTA, dance class, softball, baseball, football, the school plays, the projects you've got to help the kids with. What you have to do is make people help you. So that is, if you've got a husband, I stopped doing his laundry. I was like, I got to do their laundry. They can't do it yet. I had to do his laundry. And when they got to be about 10, I taught them how to do their own laundry. So I said, this is the way you sort your clothes and you do your own laundry. At the minimum, I think when they were about 7, 8, 9, I would make them sort their laundry
Hmm.
and then I would do it. So take some of the weight off of you. I so when I started teaching Zumba, or while I was teaching Zumba, my daughter was in dance, and so I would drop her off, and then I told my husband, "Well, I'll be at class tonight, so you've got to pick her up. You've got to pick up our son, and then go pick her up. These are your children too." During the pandemic, my kids were older, so one was a freshman in college, and but back home because of the pandemic, and then the
Yeah.
other one was a junior in high school, and so I ordered Hello Fresh,
Ooh.
and I made them cook because I was still working. So I said, so the Hello Fresh will come, you pick it out, and you guys cook dinner Monday through Friday. We'll have, or I think it was Monday through Thursday, and then Friday we would have leftovers, and then Saturday and Sunday I'd try to make something work. But you have to not take it all on and allow other people to engage other people in doing things so that you don't burn out. The other thing is if you're trying to start a business on the side, um, hire a virtual assistant. and allow them to do some of the things once you can afford it. Now, a lot of VAs are international, and so their rate is going to be a lot less than the American rate.
Mm-hmm.
Get one, let them do your content, let them edit your content, or let them, return phone calls or do emails or what have you. And then the other thing is use AI so that you're not having to solve all the problems. It's still your intellectual property, but if you come home from a 12-hour day, and then you're like, okay, I want to start, I don't know, I want to start raising chickens, so that I have eggs to hatch in the backyard. Well, you don't know anything about raising chickens. Use AI to figure out what it takes to you can G it and use that to figure it out. But then you can use AI to create your plan. And then you can use AI to create your marketing plan for how you're going to sell the eggs or how you're going to teach that curriculum at your kids' Montessori school so that they know how to lay eggs and pick the eggs. So you don't have to solve all the problems yourself.
Mm. And I think I can attest to this, like kind of growing up. You're just like, I'll figure it out. You kind of wear that cloak of just like,
Mhm.
I'm going to do everything because I can't rely on other people type of feel. But then that burns us out so much quicker. And we're
Yes.
just like, ooh. And then when you're laid out, I think people that are expecting things of you, like, why are you so burnt out? Because I guess I can attest to it too, because my husband says like you wear it so well where I can't tell that you're stressed out. And then when you burn out, it's kind of like a whoa, you've been holding this in for a very long time. Why didn't you say anything?
Right. And you're like, because I was caring, I thought I could do it all.
And
And you
it's
can, and you can, but you wear yourself out.
ugh.
And so
And then
when you're down and everybody else is going to the Bahamas for the vacation that you planned for them, they're okay, they're off, and you're sick, that won't work.
you're like, I spent all that time and money working on this vacation for what?
No, I'm just
So, on this podcast, we focus on the 9 pillars of wellness. They're all important in different areas of your life.
there.
In your experience, which of these pillars do high achieving women often neglect and why?
So I would say that we often neglect the physical, the physical, the physical, the physical. And probably the emotional as well, oftentimes the occupational. So the physical is we're feeding our kids, we're making sure they have the food that they need, and we're just kind of eating off the side of their plate.
Mhm.
But we're not necessarily paying attention to what we're putting in our bodies. We're certainly not making it to the gym, right? It's very few young mothers at the gym, in my experience, in our community. You might have young single women with no children, young single women maybe with a kid, and you'll have older women who are in the gym. But
Mhm.
those young moms, they're kind of missing out because they're so caught up in all the things that do require your attention. But it's important for you to focus on the physical too, in whatever way you can. If it's getting up early, if it's going and doing a spin class at 5:45 a.m. and then coming back home, getting everybody ready because your husband has already made breakfast for the kids, right? Or your
Mhm.
kids have made their own Pop Tarts or whatever. Um, and then you get your physical in. The emotional, did I say emotional or social?
You said emotional.
Okay. The emotional part is suppressing all those needs that you have so
Yep.
that you can meet the needs of everybody else and not taking up too much space, not making too much of a ruckus, taking on everything. You're wearing yourself out. And a lot of times we don't speak up about things that we need, things that we see. And we harbor little angers and little frustrations that we might not even realize.
Mhm.
Are you mad that your husband slept late, or are you mad that his shoes pile up at the entrance of the house? And if you just told him, take your shoes up, you might be less frustrated about him sleeping an extra 20 minutes. So you've got to take care of your emotional needs. And part of your emotional needs, I think spiritual and environmental and social are part of that as well, because your emotional needs are met because your spiritual needs are being fed, and your social environment is being engaged, right? You have friends that you spend time with.
Mhm.
um, yeah, and your environmental, so your space is clean, or to your liking, as opposed to the mess because your kids are all over the place. um, and and that happens. But eventually, you'll be able to make some things. You got to wait and see to them happening. And then the other was occupational.
Mhm.
So a lot of times, while we're raising children, we are certainly neglecting our occupation, our advancement, right? Our rising up in in a corporate environment, or starting that business. So if you're pregnant, and this is societal as well, if you're pregnant, you simply have to have the baby. The body just has to do what it has to do. So but you can work well up into your pregnancy and be all the things. And then you have the baby. So again, there are just certain needs that have to be met. You've got to stop and bond with the baby and breastfeed, or wean the baby, all the things, figure out how you're going to put that baby in somebody else's care and not lose your mind while they're at a daycare and you're at work. And then you've got to be at the PTA meeting, and you've got to be at the Girl Scouts, and you need to take them to the Cub Scouts, and you don't. Your partner, the father, your husband, maybe your parents, siblings, and friends can help
Mhm.
with those things too. So you've got to enlist the resources of some of your community.
Mm. And you talked about taking up space. I can attest that growing up, it, I think for safety reasons, and again, raised by older parents who were raised in the South, of taking up space brings attention to you. And again, we talked about earlier, you're tamping yourself down to appease others to make sure that you are not taking up space and you're not doing the most, quote unquote, even though you may know a little bit more than that person, you may be a little bit more knowledgeable, but it keeps you safe. And I think that I kind of how you put it, of just like the emotional of putting yourself down is really more detrimental. I learned this in the corporate space, is a lot more detrimental than I thought. I thought it was just like, oh, it's a passing thing, it's fine. I've seen the elders do it, but kind of seeing the elders who have done that, how that impacts their health in the long run,
Hmm.
basically. Of just
Exactly. And I like that you couch that in safety, and that safety, keeping ourselves safe, impacts so many things that we do, right? And not being seen is safer than being seen.
mm,
One thing, like Zumba, um, is a very, very seen when you're teaching Zumba, or you're a dancer. So as a full dancer, that is the full expression of who you are. Even if you're doing someone else's choreography,
yep.
it's Brittany's body. It's Brittany's expressions. It's the way the music, and if you choreograph it, it's the way the music made Brittany feel.
mm,
It's very personal. And so when you go into the class and you put that out there, and the best instructors are the ones who lay it out on the floor. They might not be even the best dancers or best choreographies, but you feel their passion.
yep.
You have other instructors who they have the skill set. They know exactly 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, but it's mechanical.
Hmm.
It's not passionate. They're not really showing you who they are.
And that's
And
a
that
skill
that's
set
the
to
hard.
learn. Yeah,
And
even for me, and that was something is different. And I interviewed an Aqua Zumba instructor, And she talked about the difference between being a person on the floor and being the instructor, where that responsibility shifts, and that you
Mhm.
were seen and that you were responsible for not just yourself and the energy of that room, you're responsible for everybody in that room. And that is a complete
Amen.
mind shift of, like you said, that emotional wellness of, oh, I'm being seen and I'm seeing other people and I have to come out of my shell for this to work. And it's not,
Exactly.
it's hard.
It is hard. And since you were already in a dancer and in the fitness field, it's different for you than it was for somebody who was a student. So I was a
Mm.
student, and these were my peers.
Ooh.
And then I was encouraged by an instructor to take the training, same kind of thing. Just take the training.
Yeah.
Just get the training. You might not even teach, but just come and get the training. And so you do, and then you become an instructor. So my mentors, when they were very specific. They'd allow us to come up front and teach a song. It was a different move.
Mm.
When you got there, you're like, oh, I've got to be 4 beats ahead. I've got to remember the things. I've got to give energy out to everybody. Because if I'm feeling, sometimes when I teach a class, if I'm not feeling well, I'll say, look, you guys, I'm not feeling well today.
Mm.
You're going to have to bring the energy. I'm not, I'm only going to have so much energy for you. You got to bring it. And then I'll remind them. And then once you get moving, you still
Oh
like, oh, I
yeah.
got all this energy. Yeah.
once they bring the energy, it's like, oh, okay, I can build on this. I can do
Exactly.
this.
Yes. Yes.
For transitioning into a deep question, what is the most challenging emotional or mental block you've seen women face when trying to prioritize their well-being, and how can they begin to work through it?
So there in my book, I talk about it. They're really um, 4 steps. You've got to be aware that you're missing it. You've got to be aware that you need something, that something's missing, and you've got to be aware. So I call that wake up. So once you become aware of it, then you've got to accept that there's something missing. So you've got to become aware and then accept this as truth. And that is wise up. And then you need to take personal responsibility. What is that? Nobody is coming to save you, Brittany. Your
Mm.
husband, great though he is going to let you work your finger to the bone. Your kids, beautiful though they are, as much as we love them, they are going to let you serve them. And
Mm.
so you've got to accept that there's no hero. I'm the hero. I got to show up for me. And accept that you have the keys to whatever it is that you need to change, and that your own personal wellness, physical fitness, starting a business of your own, any of these things, saving money, protecting your own financial self. Even if you're married, what are you doing with your money? Your husband might not be responsible with money. You got to take responsibility for that. So that's I call that growing up, taking that personal responsibility. And then the last one is to get up or take action.
Mm.
So now that you've awakened and you know that something's missing, you've accepted that I got to do something to change. You've grown up and you know that you've got to be the change that happens. And then you've got to get up and do it, make it happen.
Mm.
Something. Even if you go on AI and AI tells you what the first steps are, use AI so AI can tell you what the first steps are. Just ask it.
As a small business owner, sometimes it feels like I'm juggling a million things, from emails to appointments to content managing to documents. Oof, it's overwhelming. That's how I felt before Google Workspace. It becomes my secret weapon for staying on top of everything. My business email, professional. It was really easy to get my domain transferred over to Google Workspace, so my business emails are professional and polished. My appointments, all effortlessly managed in Google Calendar, and I can also manage my Google booking page, where I can manage all of my meetings, from podcast interviews to meetings with organizations and other entrepreneurs and networking opportunities, and all my crucial documents and projects. neatly organized and accessible in my Google Drive, no matter where I am. So whether I'm at my desktop or I'm on the go, my Google Drive from Google Workspace is accessible to me. So if you're a small business owner like me, wearing multiple hats, then you know how vital efficiency is. And Google Workspace has given me back time and peace of mind, allowing me to focus on what I do best. Check out the affiliate link in the description below to learn more and get started with Google Workspace today. Now back to the interview.
Yes, and everybody's using it.
Oh yeah.
So it is what it is. Until it's not here, we should use the tools too.
If
Okay.
you could offer one piece of wisdom to your younger self, especially about finding out about balance and purpose, what would it be?
It would be to go ahead and start the coaching earlier. Really do what you take time to remember what it is you love, because we forget. We're so well trained, we're so well educated, that we lose that thing, right? You continued to dance. Was there a period that you didn't dance, or you danced always?
No, there was a period where I didn't dance, and that mentally impacted me. My husband, when I told him, I just projected like I don't have the love for dance anymore. When we were dating, he asked me like, what was the one thing you wanted to do if money didn't matter? I was like, be a dancer. He's like, and so when I told him, yeah, it's not there anymore, he said, oh, this is not good.
Yeah, this is not okay. And we change, things
Mhm.
change, and hormones come in, and we have depression, and we have a number of things that happen. So you lost the passion for dance, but then you found it again in instruction and teaching, and probably, if you reflect on it, a number of things changed in your life that brought you back to that core passion, that enabled you to see it again. And so
Yeah.
what I would say is, try to always remain in touch with that makes you you. Don't lose it. So if you are, because dance and physical fitness and moving our bodies is an integral part of who we are. So I
Amen.
think everybody's some sort of dancer. Look at kids. All kids like to dance.
They do.
Little boys, they all like to dance. You just put them in the gym and turn the music on, and they're
They
gonna run, they're gonna dance.
it's like in them. It's just like, especially if they've been sitting in school and you ask like, how was school? They're like, I just want to dance and I want to run. And you just like, I turn on like one of the popular songs. I love the kids bop when I was doing kids Zumba, spinning, running, jumping, all the things. And the parents were like, they seem so, and I would always get the comments. The parents were, they're so happy when they come home. I was like, yeah, because I got to express themselves through dance.
Yeah, and it's boys and girls. And
Yes.
then we unlearn that passion. And so if you can continue to keep a little bit of that passion. Now I didn't always teach dance. I danced as a little girl, and I was a cheerleader and drill team and stuff. But my kids will all tell, all three of them, I danced with them. My mother danced with us. So we just turned on the music in the living room, and we would dance. And so my kids always saw me being willing to move and dance. I wasn't shy about it. And then just becoming a Zumba instructor, that just seemed right to them. They were like, of course, now she's a Zumba instructor. Um, so that's what I would say. Don't lose whatever that is. If you enjoy pottery, find a pottery class. If you like to paint, the community centers and the county have all sorts of just classes. Take your kids with you. They will love to see you doing that. And if you can't find a program, or you can't take the kids with you, then you volunteer to be the scout assistant leader, or volunteer to lead one day where they're doing something that you're passionate about.
Mm.
And you're going to be a better whatever than a brownie. So the brownie is 5, and you haven't painted since you were in 3rd grade. You're still better than the brownie. You can still bring something to that class that will enable you to express yourself creatively, and show something to the kids. Or take a creative writing class if you love to write. or go on Facebook Live and just talk if you like to talk. Do a YouTube channel, so we can all, and you can do it whenever you can do it. Don't put pressure on yourself to meet any kind of test or obligation or get any kind of certification or notoriety, any of the things. Give
Mm.
yourself grace. Remember who you are.
I think because I was watching Beyonce's Homecoming, I think a couple of weeks ago, and she talked about people don't like looking silly. People don't like looking like they're at the bottom of something. And then that
Yeah,
stops people from, again, kind of not being seen, like you talked about earlier. But like, well, I'm going to look silly and I don't know what I'm doing. But some people start at a particular point to build themselves up. And again, it doesn't have to be for recognition, it could just be for yourself
it can be.
at
And
the
I'll
end of
tell
the
you
day.
what, when I started teaching Zumba, um, the legal community, the women in the legal community here, they never stopped me and said, they never ran into me and were like, "Hey, how's the law going? Hey, how's your practice going?" You know what they asked? "When are you teaching Zumba? Where are you teaching Zumba? Are you still
Mm-hmm.
teaching Zumba?" That is what they wanted to know because they wanted to express themselves creatively. And I had a lot of them come to my class. But that's now, if somebody was like, "How's our niece?" or "How's Keith's wife?" Because if they knew me as Keith's wife, "Oh, is she still teaching fitness? Is she still a Zumba instructor?" Because they want some of that.
Mm.
And that's what not only are you doing for yourself, but you might be helping people in your community
Yep.
to see themselves and to express themselves as well.
Mm. Mm. I love that. We made it to the last question. As a certified neuroencoding specialist, you understand the power of the mind. How
Mhm.
do you help your clients shift their mindset to overcome self sabotage and embrace lasting change?
That's a great question. Okay, so we suffer from the what we call in neuroencoding the toxic 10 that hold us back from doing things. It's procrastination, hesitation, self-doubt, self-loathing, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of rejection, um, imposter syndrome, stress, and overwhelm. That's all 10. So what we do is we want to target whatever the things are. We're always so let's say becoming a Zumba instructor. We'll just use that as an example. So you're going to worry about self-doubt, fear of rejection, fear of success, right? What if you go from a size 10 to a size 4? How are your friends going to feel? Are you going to make people mad? Is the community going to look at that? Then, if it happens, you've got imposter syndrome. And who am I to get up in front of the class and teach? I'm not as good as my instructors were. And then there's stress and overwhelm. So you've got all the other things going on. So we want to look at those things, recognize that that's that awareness, wake up to know that you've got these things so that you're not pretending that, "No, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm okay." Put that away. What are you not? Where are you not okay? We think, feel, do, and have. That is um, our four-step mechanism in neural encoding to help people overcome the things. So you want to change the way you think about something. So instead of thinking about it as, "I'm going to get in front of the class and the students they're going to be mad at me and they're going to hate me, and if I lose weight," instead of having all that, think, "I practiced this routine really, really a lot. My kids have heard this song 5,000 times." And I've practiced in the mirror in the bathroom, and I really enjoy it. So I think I'm just going to have a good time. So if you're thinking that way now, even when I said it, you smiled, right? So I feel better when I'm doing it. So you're thinking, now you're feeling better about it. Now, there's often more things that we have to do with the thinking than just thinking. They just say, "Oh, think positively." A lot of these things are ingrained into you. So we have tools and mechanisms to break that habit, to break that train that you're on that's moving to negativity. Um, and so you're going to feel better. So if you feel better, it's going to make you do more of the things. So I've learned, so I thought, oh, this song is so much fun. This is this Indian rhythm, and I love it, and I'm having a good time. So I'm thinking better. Now I feel better, right? When I'm doing it, I feel, I'm feeling good. I'm having a good time. So now I'm going to be more willing to practice it, do it, maybe learn a reggaeton, maybe learn a salsa, because I like that music too. So now
Mhm.
I'm doing the things. Now this is going to enable me to have what it is that I want. So whether it's, let's say that it's just to lose the weight. So if I'm thinking good about what it is I'm doing, now I'm feeling better about it, which leads me to do it more because it makes me feel good, right? Now I'm going to get the results, because if you're working out, you can't help but get some results.
Right.
Right, you're going to feel different. You're going to have more energy. You're going to burn more calories. Although we both know that it's diet that really will help you to really, really lose the weight and keep
Yep.
it off. But those are the things that we work with: thinking, feeling, doing, and having.
Mm. Yeah. And the 10 things that hold you back, I did not think of that, of all of those things holding you back. I think you think of one thing that was normally holding you back.
Yeah.
So do you feel as though like multiple, and you kind of said multiple things at the same time hit you at
Yes.
once and it just breaks your nervous system, where again that emotional wellness of, oh, I don't want to be seen and just gonna bury myself down here
Yeah.
so I don't rock the
And
boat.
yeah. And when you bury yourself down, where does that put you? Back in safety.
Mm.
Safe again. So your subconscious mind is designed only to protect you. It keeps your heart beating and your brain working and your lungs, all the things, and protects you. Your subconscious mind keeps you driving in the right lane. It keeps you from, you learn quickly. Don't put your hand on a hot stove. So your subconscious mind keeps you from doing all that. You're conscious of it too, but your subconscious mind is protecting you. And so when Brittany's like, you know what? I'm going to quit my corporate job and I'm going to paint my hair purple and wear Birkenstocks and come pick the kids up from school. Your subconscious mind says, girl, that's dangerous. You in danger, girl. And from Whoopi Goldberg and Ghost would say, you in danger, girl. Step back and go get your hair relaxed and put back on the pumps and that blue suit. Look how pretty you look in the blue suit. Your parents are so proud of
Yep.
the corporate job that you have, and your husband married this kind of person.
Yep.
So all that comes up, and it's not that your subconscious mind is bad. In fact, it's wonderful. It's there to protect you, but you got to fight through it
Mm.
so that you can get to who you really are.
I love that. I love that. This has been such an inspiring and insightful conversation. I truly want to thank you for coming on the podcast and sharing your wisdom and embodying what it truly means to be well in every aspect of our life. Where
Thank
can the
you.
listeners get in contact with you, find your book, buy your book, book a session if they want to do their business, and just learn more about you?
So you can find, I make it easy. I am the busy woman's coach, and that's fitness, business, and lifestyle. So in that, I make everything easy, right? Simple is really the better word. Simple and uncomplicated. So you can find me at arnicefoster.com, and that's ARNICE Foster. My name is down there.com. Easy peasy. You can find my book, The Foster Fit Method, also easy, even though it's backwards. Foster Fit Method. And also you can so you can sign up for a coaching program. You can sign up for what I call not a discovery call, but kind of a community call. How do we get along? How do we vibe? Because you need a coach that vibes right with you, and the coach needs to make sure that you're somebody who's coachable for their style, and that we can actually help you. And that's either in fitness and nutrition or business coaching. Those are my specialties. I am also a life coach, but the term seems so nebulous, right? What is
Like
that?
very woo woo woo. Very.
Right. So I keep it fitness and business, we all get that, right? That's that practical mind that comes out. But that's where you can find me at arnicefoster.com.
Awesome. Arnice, again, thank you so much for collabing with us. And listeners, thank you again for listening. And remember that true wellness is a holistic journey. See you next time on Wednesday Wellness Debrief.